Every watch company needs that defining watch. You know, the one that when you hear the brand name, you think of it immediately. Rolex has the Submariner, Omega the Speedmaster, Seiko the SKX, etc. You get what I'm saying here, I'm sure. So if you're a newish brand, seeking to make a name for yourself, the sooner you get one of those signature models, the better. When someone mentioned Vaer watches to me, I thought of exactly nothing. I saw the odd generic looking model every now and then, particularly from American watch reviewers and the ever-present articles and videos from Hodinkee, of course. It's understandable that if you're based in North America, you will get excited about having local brands produce watches. I feel the same, after all, about watches coming out of both Sweden and Australia. Americans were a force to be reckoned with in the global watch industry of the 19th century. And without this turning into a history lesson, it's fair to say that the USA helped the Swiss modernize and improve, turning Switzerland into the watchmaking powerhouse that it is today. So it would of course be nice to see some of this proud history of watchmaking return. Anyway, the first time I saw the Vaer D5 Tropic Diver, I certainly took notice, and it became what I thought about when I heard the name, the signature model for Vaer in my brain. It's been perpetually sold out, but I finally managed to secure one, and I'll tell you how and what I think about it in today's video. If you like what I do, please consider a like and subscribe. It means a lot to me and my small channel. Thank you so much. The D5 is a very attractive watch, to me anyway. And luckily for me, I find it even better looking in person than on images. It's inspired by a JLC watch from 1959 with the amusing sounding name of Deep Sea Alarm Automatic, which fittingly was sold in the Americas only. The inner seconds marker and dial are heavily influenced by that gorgeous watch, but not to the point where it's a straight up copy, so you can feel good about your purchase. A nicely preserved version of that particular watch model will set you back about $20,000, which makes the asking price of this one at $589 much easier to swallow. So let's have a close look at this dial. Vaer makes a big song and dance about how their watches are assembled in America, to the point where it's prominently printed at the 6th position. Of course, doing the assembly locally means that you can ensure that quality control is, or should be, 100%. And so far, I have nothing but praise for my watch. As you can see, there's no outer train track or markers on the rehaut. The seconds marker are all contained within the inner section of the dial, and where you'd normally see markers or Arabics, we have the 0 to 60 seconds printed. I love the off-white outer circle. It feels vintage without going full faux vintage, and it's incredibly distinct. This is a watch that gets noticed on your wrist, since it looks like nothing else in circulation really. All other markers and the paint on the hands is a clear white, which contrasts well with the black and off-white. The inner black circle has the brand name underneath, the Lume triangle, and automatic with 20 ATM only. The balance here is exceptional, and when we get to cover the Lume a bit later, it's a real treat to see what they've done here. It's worth waiting for. Legibility is excellent, with just the right size and thickness fence post hands. Only the minutes and seconds hands extends past the inner circle, so it's quite easy to see at a casual glance what the time is. I always moan about date complications in my reviews. I can't see them since they're always too small, and I generally feel that they make it needlessly annoying to set a watch that hasn't been worn for a while, since regardless if I can see them or not, I can't have it be wrong. This one though, I like. Whenever I go away, I always miss my family, of course. I think about them, what they're doing when I'm away. However, it's not until I'm on my way home again that I realize I also miss my dog, and it's so nice to see her when I go home. And really, she's the only one these days that still makes a fuss about my return. This date wheel is a bit like that for me. It has every fourth date in red, and it's such a nice surprise every time it happens. I kind of forgot about its existence until, hey, there you are. It's a bit odd how this cool little detail is not mentioned at all on the product page. The excellent 120-click ceramic bezel contains the double-dome sapphire crystal with internal AR coating, which takes on a purple tone at times. It's quite good, but even when it fails, the hands reflect well, so you'll always be able to tell the time. The sawtooth edges are not sharp, but still easy to grip and seem to float just above the case. The feel is excellent here. It's a truly lovely bezel to manipulate that is both precise and smooth. There is a tiny bit of backplay, but only so it can slot back into the exact position, which I think is fine. There's more Lume here for later in the video. It is very good. The case is another home run to me. The mix of polished and brushed surfaces is extremely tasteful, and those angled downturned lugs has just the right amount of Omega inspiration. It's the perfect choice for a watch like this, and I like it very much. Vaer states the diameter at 39 and bezel at 40, but it's definitely 40 on both. They also state the thickness at 13.7mm including the crystal, but it's clearly 14. Finally, they state the lug to lug as being 48mm, but it's definitely 47 no matter how you measure it. I know they don't do centimeters in the US, so maybe that's the issue. Either way, we do agree on the 20mm lug width. Flipping the watch over, we get a generous view of the Miyota 9015. Vaer mentioned that they'd like to move to an American-made movement in the future. For a small brand, it makes sense to find a niche and point of difference. And if this means that the world will have more diversity other than Switzerland, Japan and China when it comes to movements, then great. Meanwhile though, this movement has never failed me, and the customized rotor on a mechanical movement should always bring a smile to your face, since remember, these things run simply by you moving your wrist, which is, in fact, awesome. The final revelation to me, what's quickly becoming one of my favorite watches to wear, in all seriousness, is the strap options. I have no time for annoying so-called tropical straps with their rubbery feel and uncomfortable edges on my skin. But this has some sort of magic built in. There is a metal bracelet supplied, which is lovely on its quick release spring bars and all, and I went straight for that and almost packed away the tropical strap immediately, as is my way. That's until I put it on, just to quickly check it out. Now I genuinely think that a black strap complements this watch way better than a steel one, and particularly if there's some sort of sorcery built in like on this one. It's signed, ventilated, has a brushed buckle signed with the logo, and it feels so nice and soft on my skin. I've since packed away the steel bracelet, and this tropical one is staying on forever. Considering how good both options are, I wish I had requested the optional leather one also. I actually asked them in my order if they could supply one free since I would be reviewing it on my channel, which was promptly ignored. Fair enough, I would ignore me too. Luckily, I had this lovely Artem strap, which also suits the watch very nicely. So the Lume, in all its glorious Superluminova X1C1 is so good. I'll let you admire it yourself here. Vaer, much like many other young brands these days, describe their products as super high quality watches without the super high price tags. And I'm inclined to agree with this statement after handling, wearing and falling in love with the D5. Visually, it's only really this D5 that's grabbed me, which is lucky since otherwise I would be buying every watch on their website based on my experiences so far. The fact that my waitlist came through on this model and I was offered a 20% discount simply by hanging around on the website for a while was such a pleasant surprise. At this, or the full asking price, this watch is an absolute steal. The more I read about the guys behind the brand, the more I'm really starting to suspect that Vaer will become a force to be reckoned with for us watch lovers. This is a buzz that you and I should definitely be on. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.